Salam alaikum, everybody. This is the first time I've met Brother Abdurrahman, and he is a very hard act to follow. I laughed myself, and I teared up quite a bit. So hopefully I'll be able to follow him, and I'll make you guys laugh, hopefully, not just cry from boredom. No, I'm just kidding. So we'll start. So I thought that I would start this off with a little bit of energy. So if I could have everybody in the room stand up, please. Okay, so everybody just look forward, and I am going to run over a list of modern day media. And if I mention something you've used, even if once, you must sit down and don't stand back up, okay? If you hear something else that you've used, stay seated, please. Think of this as a process of elimination game. Facebook. Chatting or IANT. I want everyone to just look around and see how profound that is. Twitter. Blogging. iPhone. iPad.
Hey Naeem,
iTouch.
I think you're supposed to make this stuff over here.
MP3 players.
I think you're supposed to go over.
DVDs.
It should be.
YouTube. Halal Tube. Xbox. PlayStation. Nintendo DS. Wii. I think that's everybody.
Let's go, Naeem. Come on.
One person left? MashaAllah. Oh, okay. I don't want to embarrass him. That's okay. One person. Is that not the most profound thing you've ever heard? Okay, so lost communication is not your fault or your parents' fault. This is unfortunately the nature of the beast. We live in a generation or an age of digital revolution. And there are so many great things that can come out of using these mass communication forms of media, but with the good always comes the bad. Just a little bit of statistics for you guys, some numbers. Pay attention, this is actually really interesting. In a U.S. Online Consumers Report for 2010, according to that, the daily time spent by the average American, that's us, on these forms of media is a total of 10.2 hours a day on average. That's including summers and weekends and stuff like that. But if you think about it, there's 24 hours in a day, we're spending almost half that day doing that. So how can we build relationships or build communications with our families if we're spending so much time doing all this other stuff? So I really want you guys to think about that. That is really like a striking fact, and it really opened my eyes when I saw that number online. So when I was asked to do this talk, I found out that it was going to be just for ages 12 to 26, so I got really excited because I really love multisensory presentations, and what that is doing just more than lecture, kind of having other things going on at the same time. So with that, I kind of have a lot to talk about, but while I'm talking, we're going to have my buddies over here, they're all working. And I'll be talking to you guys while they're working, and then I'll explain what they're doing throughout. So, to start, most of you all are second generation. If you don't know what that means your parents were not either not born here or have spent a majority of their life living elsewhere. And that is really a big, big reason why we feel we don't understand them or they don't understand us, because we're different, right? They're fobs, right? So, I know that word, I'm not that old. So a lot of times we feel like parents don't understand us, my parents don't care, my parents are too busy, or I'm too embarrassed to talk to them about so-and-so, or they kill me if I told them that I did so-and-so, or, and communication is not really easy sometimes, but it is possible for everyone. I'm living proof. Later on, inshallah, I'll be able to talk to you guys about personal stories. To start off, you all should know that all parents are different. Sometimes the mom's at home, the dad goes to work all day. Or sometimes the dad's home and the mom goes to work all day. Or sometimes the mom and dad both go to work. So it's important when trying to start to build your communication with them that you find the right time and the right situation. To begin, when you see them munching on grape seeds while watching TV, no brainer. You don't talk to them that time. They're getting their time to relax, right? Or they're in the middle of a phone call. My brother's back. Mom, 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 mom. He wants to talk to her, but she's on the phone. Not a good time. Also a no-brainer. The perfect time to talk to your parents is dinner time, when you're in the car. And, you know, any other time you feel that they're not predisposed at the moment. That's for the right time. For the right situation is finding the parent who's perfect to talk to for that specific situation. Girls, if you're having an issue that relates to girl issues, and you think that it would upset your father a little to hear that, go to your mom. Boys, same thing. You feel like it's going to upset your dad, go to your mom. If you feel like it's going to upset your mom, go to your dad. There's always going to be one parent that's a little bit more easier to talk to than the other. In most cases, that's the situation. So, let's say, you can say, Mom, Dad, you know, I need your advice on something, can we talk? That's the best way to kind of bring it up if you're having, you know, difficulty in talking to them. That's if you have a situation or a problem. Now, throughout this, I'm going to be giving you guys advice just on general communication, just on like making your communication better, if your communication is frayed, or fixing a problem that you really need solved and you can't figure it out on your own. Okay. So, if you're trying to simply talk or make small talk or chit-chat, just talking about something funny that happened in school or, you know, what's for dinner that night or, you know, hey mom, you know, this kid got smacked in the face with a locker today, ha ha, lol. You know, that kind of thing. That's something to bring up at the dinner table, something just to talk, just to build that communication. Like Abdurrahman says, you really want to make your parents as close as friends as you can to you. And it's not easy, but it's a step-by-step process. I'm living proof. I wasn't always super close with my parents. I was born and raised here like most of you. It wasn't until, I think, sometime in college that I really grew attached to both parents. I grew up with a really kind of the typical, I guess, situation for East meets West generation. And my mom was really she's kind of easygoing, but my dad he was harder to break. His shell is a little harder. So, subhanAllah, sometime in college, when I myself matured, I noticed that we were able to level, and talking to him was a lot easier. And so, you'll see with time that this will change, but you have to be able to approach them in the correct time, the correct place. Dr. Darcy Linus says that chatting every day with parents not only keeps an existing relationship strong, it also can help a frayed relationship get stronger. Now, many times, no matter how strong your relationship is, your parents will give you no for an answer. Just straight out. Mom, can I sleep over at my friend's house? No. Dad, can I sleep over at my friend's house? No. It's always a no. It's always a no. It's always a no. But if you accept that no with grace, and you gracefully say, you know what? Okay, fine. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to let it go. You will see more yeses in your future. Because that will show them that you respect them, and you respect their rules. So when you get older and they're able to just, that trust is built and they trust your choices that you're going to make, you will see more yeses. I know this because I'm just like you guys. I saw so many no's growing up. So many no's for everything. Curfew, trips, you name it. And then it came. It just came. All right. So now, Brother Abdurrahman, I'm going to kind of piggyback on what he was saying is, here's the scary part of life is that, unfortunately, we only get two parents if we're lucky. And once they're gone, there's nobody in this world who can replace them. Nobody. Nobody can replace your biological parents, no matter how much, you know, you try. The more communication that happens, the more connected and whole we will feel. I don't mean like a whole, I mean like as a whole. okay? Okay, so now, as you can see over here, my assistants are creating paper chains to symbolize the amazing strength that happens to a person with good communication with their family. Over here, you can see my assistant has struggled on his own to build his strength by himself. Sure, he may have 426 friends he can contact on Facebook, or IANT late at night, but he is, you want to hold it up? So he has struggled to build his strength by himself, and he is way far behind in terms of how happy he could potentially be. Now, if you look over here,
Oh my God.
you can see we've got a much stronger chain. Why? Because 3 people were working together. Mom, dad, and child. When you work by yourself and you think that, going to your room, coming into the room, talking to your friends, that's enough, it's never going to be enough. You have so much potential, you have so many ideas to give and take with your parents who are very wise, I'm sure. They brought you into the world. That you're missing out on a lot. That kind of seems sad to me, that little pile, and if you look over here, this one seems a lot bigger. So you can really see it. No offense. I know you did your best. Okay. So, let's see here. I just want you all to know that it's never too late to communicate and open up. There are some modern day music, If any of you guys have heard of Coldplay, Kanye West, Talib Kweli, Nas, and so many other artists in modern day music, they've all sang songs mainly based on the importance of communication. It's really not that cool to isolate yourself. It's kind of sad, actually. Sitting in your room with your laptop, on your Facebook, chatting till late time, the late hours of the night. That's not really healthy. Psychologically speaking, just from a psychological point of view, that's not the healthiest. And you're just really isolating yourself when you're isolating your family. And your 865 friends on Facebook or Twitter they'll never truly care about you or your problems as much as your family will. Never. I'm not an Islamic scholar, and I don't want to seem like this is coming from Islam only, but even the oldest psychology books will tell you that a lack of communication with your family can really cause severe depression and unhappiness in your life. As you all know, Islam regards your family, specifically your mom, as the next most important entity after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I brought a little board also so you guys can see. When you don't have that connection with both your parents, it's not one of your parents, you can tend to feel incomplete. It's just like a puzzle. So I created this as kind of a visual as to a lot of cases that I've seen working here in Dallas and in the past with specifically adolescents and teenagers is that a lack of communication with their family has caused such confusion in their head, and they are always they're always like, I'm so sad, I don't know what's wrong with me, I come home and I'm not happy, I'm just not happy. The first question in psychology is, what's your family life like? How's your relationship with your dad and mom? How often do you speak to your parents? Do you live with your parents? It has profound effect on your happiness. And those people who don't have that communication, that strength between them and their parents can feel like this for a very long time. And sadly, going back to the generation gap, we feel that that's not possible. We feel that they just don't get it. They don't get us. Well, guess what they do? They've been through what we've been through, believe it or not. Maybe on a different scale, maybe with different names, but they've been through similar situations. Our parents want to see us be better than them. And when they hear that we don't, when they give us no's, they're just trying to protect you. I know how cliche that sounds. I know you guys don't want to hear that, but that's really the case. I myself, like Brother Abdurrahman, couldn't wait to move out. Oh, I was saying I want to move out since I was like 12. I can't wait to move out. I can't wait to move out. I want to live on my own. And subhanAllah, first night I ever spent outside of my house when I got married. And I cried. It was really tough. And I remember that night. And it was actually the flight all the way back to Dallas. And my husband, I guess he was shocked. He wasn't expecting this from an American girl who's so strong and constantly saying, oh, I can be independent. I've worked with a case manager. I went to university. I'm educated. I'm fine. I can do good by myself. Well, guess what? That wasn't the case. Male, female, it doesn't even matter. We are connected. Our roots are from our parents. And if we don't strengthen that communication and we don't close that gap between us and our parents, we will forever be feeling like this. And I really would like to see this happen, inshallah, with many of you. I'm not going to put it together because it's going to fall over, but you get the idea. So, inshallah, if anybody has any questions, of course I'm going to be available in the Q&A. I hope you have learned a few things today. And here is my email address. If you want to plug that into your cell phone, I'm sure you all have. It's jsallouha@bhaprep.org. Thank you.